The lost and found is a place you go to find things, and that's what this reading is about. To say, well, we're all getting a little battier these days and the gray matter is shrinking would indeed be accurate, but ageism and stereotyping cannot account for what I'm about to recount. That is, I dreamt I saw the lost and found. Let me backtrack here. An annual eye exam triggered buying new prescription glasses. I tried on several pairs while at the local eye clinic and placed an order for animal print frames. Loved them. In the meantime, it was my intention to take an older pair of faves with red wire frames, loved them more, back to their place of purchase and have the lenses updated. My animal prints were destined to become my backup pair. Don't know what the significance of red is in all of this, except for I am Aries, hear me roar, a fire sign. I need red framed spectacles. When I received a call from the optometrist's office saying my new animal prints were ready for pickup and adjustment, I wore my older reds to my appointment and, of course, wore my prescription lenses back home. My favored red frames had been retired to their leatherette case while at the eye clinic and then placed in my lingerie drawer for safekeeping when I returned home. About 2 weeks later, I glanced into the drawer where I thought I'd left them, and they were nowhere in sight. Perplexed, I decided to sleep on it, thinking I'll remember where I left them tomorrow if I just sleep on it today. Well, you might say it was a big sleep because 2 months later, I still couldn't find them. During that 2 months, I even drove back to the eye clinic to make sure that in absent-mindedness, I had not left them on the counter or something like that. Up until that point, I'd never lost a pair of glasses before in my life. So it had been almost 4 years prior that I had purchased the reds at a clinic outside of my immediate locale. In spite of the lengthy timeline, I decided to go back to that clinic to see if there was even a speck of a chance, no pun intended here, to track down an identical pair of red wire frames. Much to the credit of the clinic staff, they didn't try to sell me new product or convince me that too much time had elapsed since the original purchase, but rather got right down to the task at hand. They dug through old files to locate a serial number and a manufacturer's name. Magicaboola. Is that even a word? Well, it feels like one because they were able to locate a twin and place a new order for me. Customer service at its best. Now here, one might be tempted to say, aha, the lost and found, that's what she means. But wait, there's more. The day I received a phone call telling me my new Red Rocket specs were ready for pickup and adjustment, it was an offbeat, muggy Monday with the temperature soaring to 96 degrees. Very oppressive heat. With no mind to the heat, though, I ventured out, jubilant at the thought of a red reunion of sorts. You know, they're perfect, I repeated several times over whilst trying them on. I thanked the staff at the clinic and left feeling very chic. When I returned home that afternoon, I decided to give in to a wee cat nap. Somewhere between driftin' and dozin', I saw my red frame specs where I'd left them. in my drawer, my lingerie drawer, that is. Startled awake, I sat on the edge of my bed for a moment to process that which was stuck in my mind's eye. When I got up and yanked open my drawer, there was nothing, of course. I examined that drawer before. Annoyed, I started rummaging around a nest of silk scarves. As I slipped my hand down one side of the drawer and towards the back, I felt something hard, yet pliable, and with a leatherette grain. I knew at once it was my eyeglass case. I pulled it out of the soft, silky milieu to behold my beloved reds. There they had been waiting in my drawer, right where I had left them. Somehow they had slipped and sunk completely out of sight. Right about now, you might be thinking, bats in her belfry, or perhaps liken my antics to, the proverbial squirrel that buries its nuts and then needs a global positioning system to find them again. Muggy Monday, offbeat or what? What indeed are the chances that on exactly the same day I was destined to pick up and pay big bucks in a COVID world for a new pair of reds, my old ones would reveal themselves to me in a dream. I dreamt I saw the lost and found, and find them I did. I once read an article extolling the wisdom of that old adage, just sleep on it. In other words, allowing the brain to go into a deep, restful, abstract state instead of, say, staying awake all day and night stressing over an item, an issue. I'll say it again, allowing the brain to go into a deep, restful, abstract state gives the brain a chance to sort through and categorize a collage of problem-solving information and revelations based on past experiences. If one just gives in to sweet surrender, the answer to a multitude of perplexities will often just dance into your head. In truth, this mindset has served me well throughout my entire life. And yes, even in the case of the lost lunettes. I'm inclined to quote another old saying here. Timing is everything. Had I given my unconscious thoughts just a few weeks longer to sort and resurface, I could have saved myself the expense of yet another pair of flaming red glasses. But then again, now I have a pair of backups for the backups.